There's about half a dozen key issues that keep coming up repeatedly. No particular order, but I'd have to say cost of living and housing affordability is certainly high up on the list for people.
I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Lindsay's recent comments blaming housing affordability, the crisis on young people being financially illiterate.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with those comments.
Right. What would your response be?
Well, look, the people who are raising the issue with me aren't coming from just the younger age group. Quite the opposite. I'm getting a lot of people who are probably in their mid-30s, who have got a young family, who are either back on a single income because they do have a young child who's not of school age, or, they're dual income but they're not high, they're low to middle income earners.
Yep.
And I'm getting a lot of people in the older age bracket who are either renting themselves, and there's quite a large proportion of pensioners that are renting in the area, or are just concerned about their kids and their grandkids ever being able to own a home.
What other issues do you think affect Petrie?
Health is certainly high on people's list. Again, we've got quite a large elderly population, but the health issue is being raised across the board. A lot of parents are raising it because they've got young children. We only have about 35% of the electorate that have private health. So there's quite a large proportion of the electorate that are reliant solely on the public health system.
What about the new IR laws? Have you had any personal experience with constituents responding to AWAs, or personally, or with someone they know?
I've certainly had individuals raise issues with me. I've had people who have said they've directly been affected or their partner's been affected. I'm getting also a lot of those, people know somebody.
Yeah.
So many times I've sort of had gentlemen at the door who have said, oh yes, my mate around the corner, I've worked for a company for 20 years, he's just got the sack, or he's been put on an AWA and he's not happy. So I am getting a lot of that sort of feedback. But on a more general level, I'm finding there's a lot of people who are unhappy with the laws, and a lot of people in that, again, in the elderly category, who are very unhappy with the direction that the laws have gone.
Redcliffe is in the electorate of Petrie and has recently been affected by the forced council amalgamations. Now, although that's a state-led issue, do you think that will hurt Labor federally in this electorate?
Well, look, I acknowledge people have a strong view about the issue of the amalgamation, but when they're talking to me as the federal Labor candidate, people are not raising it with me as their key issue. People are raising issues such as, the cost of living, health, water, work choices, education, climate change. They're raising those issues well before they're raising the issue of amalgamation with me. And when they do raise the issue of amalgamation with me, it's in the context of simply telling me that they, aren't happy with the decision that the state government has made, or some are telling me that they do think it's a good decision.
Finally, how do you think the population increase will affect the electorate in the years to come?
I think we need to make sure that we've got the three levels of government actually working together to deal with the population growth and making sure that we're planning for the future. All of the things that are going on right now are going to continue to need to be dealt with in the future. What we need is a government that's actually going to work, with the other two levels of government to address these issues and start putting in place solutions to deal with that in the context of the population growth.